Hi there, everyone. I'm Donovan Seidle. I'm a composer, arranger, producer, sound designer, violinist that was brought on to provide the music and sound effects for the Souls of Torrine. When I get a call for a project like this, I go through the game design document, and this sort of gets my head around the general feel of the game, the style of the game, and the sort of whole mood surrounding the game. The team for this one wanted something dark and gothic, maybe some European folk elements thrown in, but something really along the lines of Dark Souls or The Witcher. So I listened to a lot of those soundtracks. And once I got a feel for that, I do something like what you see in front of you here. This is a flow chart, and it's specifically a music flow chart. It shows me the major areas that I have to write music for, the transitions, and where the transitions happen. The game design for this one is sort of a mini sandbox. We can explore the town, but at any point we can explore the tavern or some of the quest areas once they're open to us. So we need ways to transition music from place to place and state to state. Whether we're in a general explore state or if we're in combat state. So let's look at this from left to right. We start with a cinematic. We're heading into town. We need music for the cinematic. And once we're in the town, we need music that flows seamlessly from that into the town music. For the tavern, we didn't want it too upbeat, so I wrote sort of a dark fiddle tune that, you know, it's not upbeat, it's kind of depressed, but it's still something that you might hear in a tavern. Once the quest is open to us, that opens us up to some of the mini boss fights. And before that, there's the possibility of being attacked in the town by some of the mini baddies. So we need town music, but also combat music that can flow from that. And once we're into the mini boss, which is the flesh golem, which is my favorite character, I think, in the game, we need specific music for the mini boss fights. Once we've collected all of the items, we take them to the tavern keeper, and that leads us into a cinematic, which we need music for. And then that leads us to the big boss fight, which is the Lich. And from each of these combat states, it's possible to be victorious, or it's possible to die. So we need transitions to each of those music states. And we need endings, a victory ending and a defeat ending. So that leads us into the final cinematic, and we're done the short game. So when I create a soundtrack like this for an interactive medium like video games, I like to use an audio middleware program, and this exists between the programmers and the game engine. And so I can design things in a musical way into Wise, which is the audio engine I prefer to use. And the programmers don't have to know anything about music. They can make the event calls, and the audio engine handles it in a musical way, which is really awesome for someone like me who likes to hear music in a video game work in a coherent way. I'm going to continue this video with long tracks of each piece of music. As a side note, I like to do something in especially the combat music where I want to be wary of listener fatigue and having the listener listen to the same track over and over and over in the same way. So what I do, especially in combat music, is I split it up into little chunks, and then I randomize those chunks. So the music isn't always coming at the listener in the same way. It's just something I like to do to switch things up and make sure the listener isn't getting bored of the same thing coming at them all the time. So I hope you enjoy my soundtrack, and thank you so much for listening.